What's up, guys? My name is Jomel.
My name's Jarron Gaddis.
And we are the Wannabe Boo Podcast, bringing the latest and greatest game anime news, reviews, and waifus for life. Welcome to episode 69.
Ding-a-ding-ding-ding, here it is. You've been waiting for it. We've both been waiting for it. The one and only 69th episode.
Yes, this is going to be... You guys have been waiting for this entire time as our 69th podcast. This is guaranteed to be our dirtiest podcast of our career. Well, technically, it's been our... This is our third hentai podcast, technically, isn't it, Jarron?
No. It'd be our fourth.
Can't be.
Initial one, there was the Matthias one.
Right.
We talked about it before again. Mm-hmm. With when what you call it came back. Hentai Haven came back.
So that's three. So this is still our third.
So this is the fourth.
Right now.
Yes, this one, the episode 69 is the fourth hentai podcast.
Okay.
The most important.
Oh yeah, the most important one, because it is the 69th podcast.
Right.
All right. Well, shit. I guess I sit corrected then. But just like with all the other podcasts, except for the other one, I think it was just the two of us. Yep. This time around we have another guest for this week's hentai experience. You may know, if you were at Anime Central 2019 this coming year, you may know him as one of the panelists from the Bad Anime group, who also did the Hentai Hell panel. And I'm gonna have to ask you for a correction. There's other panels you did as well, but please give a wannabe welcome, everyone, to TJ DeSalvo.
Hey guys, I'm so glad that you invited me on to your illustrious 69th podcast. I am honored that when you think of terrible pornographic cartoons from Japan, I was the first person you thought to invite. That is, I wear that as a badge of honor. So thank you again.
You're very welcome. It is a badge not to be worn lightly.
Oh, and I wear it with pride.
As you should, as all things should.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I mean, shit. Welcome. I just wanna throw things out there for first things off. How's everyone's week so far? Being for two of us being two of us having the con being last weekend so far. How has everything been for everyone here so far?
Well, since you guys had the most exciting time, let me get my boring shit out of the way. I haven't done anything.
Lame.
Yeah, pretty lame. Just been shitting and chilling. Yeah, nothing new has started. I did start playing Dungeons and Dragons online, like the MMO, not like just playing online with people. And it's a good time. It's ugly as shit because it's an older MMO, but it's a lot of fun because it doesn't feel like an actual MMO.
All right.
So if you guys are interested, go check it out.
I will.
How are you, TJ? How's your week?
My week's been pretty. I've been mostly just in con recovery mode because I think at ASEN, I think I got like a total of like 5 hours of sleep or something the whole weekend. One of my friends actually joked that at the con I spent more time doing panels than sleeping, and I thought about it for a second. And I'm like, shit, that's not even a joke. That's for real.
You should.
So mostly recovered. Mostly just been hanging out, trying to feel normal again. Watching some of the stuff that I bought at the con. Trying to plan for the next convention that I'm going to be at, which is Anime Midwest at the beginning of July. And I have some stuff. We're doing 3 panels there. Not to spend too much time plugging my shit.
You gotta do. Go on ahead.
Yeah, but we're technically, I think we're doing 3 panels there. We're going to be doing the Bad Anime panel, which is our main thing. Hentai Hell is going to be coming back. And then we're going to be doing like a special like bonus edition of the Bad Anime panel where we basically make fun entirely of anime based on fighting games. which is a panel we tried once like many years ago, and we're bringing it back. So that should all be great. That should all be a fun time. If any of you people are going to Anime Midwest, come to my panels and say hi to me and all that good shit.
And make sure you keep your hands out of your pants.
Well, at Hentai Hell, that will not be a problem. My number one rule when hosting a hentai panel is if you masturbate at one of my hentai panels, I am doing something horribly wrong.
Don't you mean horribly right?
No, because
No, not at all. Not with me. Okay. That was there. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, go on, TJ.
no, because like the shit that I show at my hentai panels is like the complete opposite of like sexy. Like technically it's all pornography, and pornography is meant to turn you on, but everything I show in my mind falls so far from that mark that if you masturbate, there's something very wrong with you. Not to kink shame, but I'm kink shame.
We kink shame here. It's okay.
Oh, good.
Wait, John, have you been to the hentai hell panel? I feel like you went to one of those one year.
I don't know if it was specifically a hentai hell panel, but I have been to panels in the past where like you would voice over hentai and just make it as fun as possible for everybody instead of just kind of everyone sitting in a quiet dark room watching hentai.
Yeah, well, it's possible that you were at a hentai hell panel. We've been running them since 2012.
Oh yeah, I've definitely probably been one.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that makes sense because the one hentai hell panel that I went to this past weekend, that was my first ever hentai hell panel.
Oh really?
Yes, I've heard so many things about it from my friends that have went, and I decided to go up there at 10:30 just to line up so I can be the front row and front and center to see what the hell is my friends were talking about. And Jesus Christ, I couldn't get a lot of the images out of my head for the first couple of nights.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. I still have Dick Hole guy's face burned into my retinas right now.
Dick Hole guy.
Funny story. I knew I was gonna play the Dick Hole guy because we generally do at these panels, but like maybe like a week or two before, I was talking to my one of my co-panelists, David, and I was like, you know what? We're like a main event at ASEN this year. We should fucking open with the Dick Hole guy.
What?
I said that. Oh wait, what was that?
What is Dick Hole guy?
Oh shit! You don't. That's right. You don't know.
I'm a little scared to ask.
So can I give the whole history of the Dick Hole guy?
Sure.
Go on ahead.
Okay, so I guess for those of you listening who may not know what hentai hell is, I guess I should bring this up too. Despite the fact that the panel is called Hentai Hell, we play both hentai and terrible live action pornography as well. Boy. This clip that we call the Dick Hole guy is a live action clip. And this is something that I was introduced to many years ago. In 2005, I was listening to a comedy podcast called Distorted View. Want to give a quick plug there. But basically he played this clip of this guy like basically sticking his little finger in his dick hole while he's masturbating. And not only does he do that, but later on he like sticks his thumb in there.
That's not possible.
Oh no, it's true. It's entirely possible,
it's
Jarron.
Possible because I've seen it and I have it on my computer and I've watched it more times than I can count. And then later he sticks his tongue in there. So it's like it's pretty like even me and all my co-panelists who like we have a pretty we're pretty immune to a lot of the crazy shit that we show. But even like me watching that, like it's hard to get through. And we usually in years past, we'll play that clip at some point, but it's usually like maybe like an hour or so into the panel once everyone has like gotten used to this some of the other stuff that we've shown, so it doesn't come off as like such a surprise. But no, this year, like my co-panelist David, he's like, no, we're gonna play this first thing. So we did. So we had room of 750 people, many of which have never been to one of our panels before, and that's the
Nice.
first thing we show. And it was glorious.
It honestly was.
And we
How many
saw
people,
like
got
several
up and
people
left?
walk out of the room immediately after we started playing it.
How many people left?
I don't know. I wish I could get. The room was so big.
Yeah.
Because it was the main event.
Yeah, like Jarron, surprisingly, this is one of the rooms where they had like,
I don't know.
because like the room that they were in was actually one of the rooms that they have for like like the big industry panels,
Mm-hmm.
like the really big ones. That's
Oh,
where they
damn.
held Hentai Hell this year.
That's fucking awesome. See, you know you're
Yeah, which is-
successful when you can make
Which
people
is
walk
weird
out.
because I think yeah, exactly. When I can walk out and when they could put us in like the biggest panel room of the convention, which I joked about this. I mentioned like this is the same room that they held like the Made in Abyss premiere the night before, and like this is like filling this room. So I'm like, where the fuck are the priority people who are going to this convention?
Wait, the premiere for
Like-
the movie?
The movie premiered in the same room that we had Hentai Hell in.
Wait, is the movie out?
The movie is not.
I mean, it
The
premiered.
movie's not out yet, but
Yeah.
like they premiered it at ASEN, so it's going to be coming out
Oh.
soon.
Oh fuck, dude! I'm super excited.
As am
Go
I. But yeah, so it filled up this giant ass room, and then immediately first thing we showed, like people walked out, and like every year, every time we play that clip, people walk out, and I hold that as like a badge of honor as well.
That's how you week
Because
to
it's
week.
like, yeah, because like in my opinion, like if you're hosting an 18 plus panel at an anime convention, that basically gives you the freedom to play whatever you want as long as it's not illegal, you know? And that's like
True.
a power I don't take lightly, you know? I'm gonna go as out there as I can, and that's what I do. And that's
Respect.
why Hentai Hell has the reputation it does.
And because of that, I'll be sure to go every ASIN year from
Fucking
here
Oh,
on.
same.
good. Good, because we do it every year. We didn't used to do it every year. We
Oh,
used to
really?
only do it every other year. But then like people would come up to me like during the convention and say like why aren't you doing Hentai Hell? Like there was one year when like 10 people literally like asked me that, and I'm like, holy shit. I guess we should just do it every year. So we've been doing it every year since then.
Oh shit. Well, hopefully next
second.
coming year, Jarron will be in town for such an occasion, and then Jarron and I could experience that live and together, and then
Yeah.
maybe we can be stared down by the dickhole guy.
It's
Mm.
it's a rite of passage.
Honestly,
Yeah.
see, it was one thing for him to stick his finger in his dick hole, but it's another thing for him to stare at the camera throughout the entire.
No. No.
For me.
Yeah,
No.
and that stare that he has, it's
No.
like it's just unbroken, like bug-eyed, like almost like the like he's in a Stanley Kubrick movie, like the Kubrick stare. Just
Honestly,
No.
now,
Pain.
well, now, I don't know if there's any of this is true, but I feel like I heard it from you guys or somewhere else. But isn't he dead? Like the actual actor that performed that?
What
yeah,
the fuck?
you heard that. Well, yes, you heard that from us during the panel itself.
Okay.
He is dead, because the whole reason why he's like was putting his finger in his dick hole in the first place is because this was the early 80s and he was doing gay porn. He got AIDS, and so after he got AIDS, he couldn't, fuck actual other human beings in the pornography.
Right.
So he decided to do all these really weird solo films, including, one where he sticks his finger in his dick hole. And he did that for basically the rest of his life, but eventually the AIDS caught up to him, and he, I believe, died in 1994 is when he died. So
Are we
25 years
100%?
ago.
Are we 100% sure that he died because of AIDS, or was it dick hole related trauma?
It might have been a little bit of both.
All right.
AIDS, weakens your immune system. So
Right.
combination of that with the dick hole trauma it could have been both.
Right.
But I'll place the blame more so on the AIDS.
Mm.
It's fair assumption.
Yeah. Well, bless that man's soul. Because
Yeah.
if he were alive today, knowing that his clip would be used to be viewed amongst hundreds of people, I think he'd be proud.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, the reason why he was in porn at all was to give people, I don't know, I guess to arouse people. I suppose I'm not aroused in the way in which he intended me to be aroused, but I am aroused nonetheless.
Yeah. Everyone's got their audience, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. I guess he'd be glad that he has an audience these 25 years later.
Right.
Yeah. So if you guys want to see what we're talking about, I don't, Draw, do you think we should even be linking that anything we'll be talking about today?
Look. Whoever's been downloading this whole time knows what we're about. So
Yeah.
if you want to follow us at Wannabeeboo, just search on Facebook or Twitter WANNABEABOO. You can also listen to us on YouTube, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, iTunes, any other place that hosts our RSS feed.
All over the internet.
Yes.
All over the internet. All 7 people continuously downloading our stuff.
Hey, well, those 7 people, they know what the fuck they're doing, man.
Exactly. They've got true culture.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we do a little bit of our plug there in the beginning, just so that we can catch people where to find us right before they kind of leave out halfway through the show, strategically.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, we're here to talk about hentai, right? We're here to talk about hentai.
That's what we're here to do.
That's what
true.
the whole ordeal is. That's why we invited TJ in. But before we go there, I didn't get to talk about my week. I mean, besides the hentai, my first experience with hentai held at ASIN. ASIN was pretty much good. I experienced a lot of good things. I actually was out a lot more on my own. I did a lot of talking to people, getting ready for the cosplay music video that I'm trying to upload and all that.
Ooh.
I don't know what's wrong with what's up with my luck, but for some reason I always end up running into the main performers. This year they had Zach, True, Asuka, and all that for the concert and all that stuff. And then last year was also was Fana. I always end up running into them in person, whether it's by accident and or just genuine, just being around the crowd when that happens. And I'm upset about that because I could have been carrying some of our cards, Jarron, our business cards, and let them show them the world of our podcast.
Jomel.
What?
We had 500 of them.
You had 500 business cards, but you had none of them with you at the moment.
Yes, I was
How
pissed.
could you?
I had one when I approached you and David.
One.
You
should have a mess of them just jammed up your ass.
I should have. Honestly, I should have. How was I gonna know? I was gonna have the same luck I had with Fana last year? Because last year I ran into Fana, one of the lead singers. I thought it was a child at first, but she's just a really short Asian woman.
You sure you want to say that?
You're just able to run into these people just out of the blue. That never happened to me.
That should have taught you.
Well, I didn't think I would have the same kind of luck I would this year. But I will say this, Jarron. I did redeem myself. Are both of you familiar with Kill la Kill, right?
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Now, I was able to get an autograph by Mako's voice actress.
Hey.
Oh, really?
So, yes. And for an act of redemption, I actually pulled out one of my business cards as she was signing my badge, gave the whole, Japanese formality with the business card thing, hajime mashite, the bowing and presenting the business card in such a way, and she accepted it.
That's actually kind of awesome.
I mean, regardless if she threw it away or not, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, she understood what it was, because it said a podcast in there, so she's like, "Oh, podcasto." I'm like, "Oh, hi, podcasto." I go along with the conversation,
right.
And hopefully her management didn't throw it away. But if
probably
not,
did,
then
but it's cool. The hope.
Hopefully, maybe she's not too weirded out by our content. Um, if she ever does try to check it out
Mhm.
one day.
Hopefully, she'll listen to this episode. Where
Yes.
we're
Oh,
talking about
man.
dick holes and
That. Yep. That. Yep. No,
mean, all-
yep. What a way to. What a world.
I mean, hentai will probably be the one way for her to recognize it, and then it'll be a slippery slope down the road.
I- You know, that is an excellent question. Like, how do people feel, like creators, artists, stuff like that, feel about their art being turned into porn?
Oh, you mean like fan art?
Like
Oh,
immediately.
you mean like how doujinshi artists kind of turn like mainstream stuff into porn?
Yeah. Just like, so for example, they came out with the new skin for May, God bless her soul. It's she's a bubble tea waitress. And there's already porn of it. Like, it was revealed maybe yesterday. No, there was one even more. It was when the new Pokemon was announced, Sword and Shield, the new starters were revealed. Like, it felt like it was an hour later before there was porn.
an hour later. Jesus.
Like an hour later. Like, I'm just browsing through Facebook. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool.
I mean,
Continue scrolling. Oh, well, there that is.
I think most people, like, especially like with like Japanese stuff, like I'm sure that most people come to expect that it's going to be turned into porn eventually. But like, I would think that it would have taken more than an hour. But I guess
Nope.
the internet just speeds everything up.
I don't know whether or not do you just have to stop caring, or do you just kind of feel defeated every time you kind of
I don't think
accidentally find it?
I don't think you should care because, like, I mean, well, in a weird way, it's almost like you should almost be like impressed because there are these people who care enough about whatever it is you make or whatever to make porn of it. Like, in a weird way, it's showing that they like whatever it is you're doing if they care enough to make porn of it.
You're right. But then when it's the starters from Pokemon, not the people, the Pokemon themselves.
Oh, the Pokemon themselves. Okay, that's
Yeah. That's
Like,
what I meant.
when does that cross the line into like bestiality? 'Cause
It is. No, it is.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I guess there's a couple Pokemon you can argue against that. But
That's true. But for the
most part.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, that is a bit. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of find it
like,
impressive.
honestly, like,
I kind of find it impressive.
it's impressive, don't? Yeah.
Because like it takes some sort of mentality to like get into like fucking porn mode when you see like the first trailer of like these starters,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just like clicks. Yep, that's it. We're fucking that. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, in a perverse way, it does take a lot of creativity to get to that mindset, I guess.
Yeah, but how much creativity is too much creativity?
There is no limit to creativity. That's what creativity is. It's just
I
like
don't know.
a bountifulness of rainbows and tentacles and dicks and whatever you want it to
you're
be.
right. But like, I feel like there should be like a respect period. Like, give it a day at the very goddamn least.
Like a morning of like you gotta mourn
Yeah,
for a couple hours and then you can go on and start ludifying everything.
Wait. Like let
Let people enjoy it before. What were you saying?
like to let it remain pure for like a day.
Yeah. Let it be pure, as you said, and then ruin it. Just let the fans that don't want to see it enjoy.
Well, then again,
before
I feel like you have to look. You have to look for. You have to
No.
look for it if you want it. If you want that to be found.
I mean, honestly, like I've done, pretty innocuous Google searches for like random shit. I'm sure I've done like a Pokemon Google search, just searching for like just random Pokemon, and porn was like the second or third result in Google Images. So even if you're just searching for shit, not necessarily looking for porn, it can find you.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's how people discover hentai. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go search for it. You just find it. It
Mhm.
finds you.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe
So-
actually. Well, I don't know. I feel like I feel like you have to be already in a porn setting for hentai to find you. I haven't.
Well, think about it. Think about it. When was the first time you saw hentai? I mean, I guess that's a little difficult.
Let's see. If any of you guys have an idea, I'm trying to think about mine.
I specifically remember.
You specifically remember?
Because I got caught.
Amateur.
Yeah, I was an amateur. I was a wee lad.
Got to turn the private browsing on.
Hey, it didn't exist back on AOL.
Oh, well, that's your first mistake using AOL.
Oh God, it took like 5 minutes to like load an image, right? I was like,
Yeah,
it goes from
was
top
pretty
down.
rough. So, you back in the day. Well, I guess still today, you had to. There was no way a child was about to find, oh, I'm going to buy this $15 box set of whatever anime, So you were definitely illegally streaming it. So by searching for certain things, you just kind of accidentally find links to places you shouldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get there and like, oh, what's this? Why my pee-pee hard? And then it goes on from there. But yes, I did get caught. Not the very same day, but like it was maybe like a couple of weeks after I initially found it. I kept going back to the same site because I remember I never searched up this site itself. I always went like, all right, this link. I went to this link, that one. I followed my paper trail.
Yeah. Yes.
But since it was a long line of just bullshit to get back to what I was looking at, when you hear someone coming down the hall, you're like, fuck. All right, I can't. For whatever reason, the exit button wasn't working, so I was like, all right, back. And it all went away. But you know how porn sites used to have those fucking goddamn pop-ups. There was one just sitting there waiting for me right behind the window as they walked in, and it all went away. I'm like, fuck.
Oh no.
Well,
how old were you?
Yeah.
How old were you?
This had to be when I was like 10, 11 maybe.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. I was a little younger than I was.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me,
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was.
I mean, for me, I found hentai by accident because I was looking at normal porn because I didn't know hentai existed.
Yeah,
Then
it does.
there was
As it
there was one of the things
Yeah.
that said hentai whatever was like hentai girl, all that good stuff. And
Watch this hentai get fucked by the monster and something.
I was like,
There's stupid, shitty Pornhub.
and for the longest time, I always thought hentai was the name of the show. I didn't know it was like that was a genre. I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh god.
I only thought that the name, like the word
Right,
hentai, was
right.
actually the name of the show of these cartoon porn. And you're like, oh, like Sailor Moon, except they're fucking each other. Yeah, sure. I like the hentai. I like hentai. Whatever this show is called. So that was about as standard as that. But the only difference is, see, up until this point in my bright 24 years of almost 25 years of living, I've never been caught.
Oh.
So
See, that's impressive. I think that you're in the minority in that, because
mhm.
I think most people have at least
Oh, you
even
do?
one
Yeah.
time. They have like one time when they got caught.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
I mean, I had even when I was a child, I had a good perception of my environment, and I know every creak, every sound, what someone's footsteps sounded like. I was really analytical about my porn, about about during my sex integration life.
Sex integration.
I don't know what
Is that what that is?
my sexual
Your
discovery of
puberty.
myself. Yes, my puberty. Yes, in my puberty days, I was at my peak when it came to senses, and I essentially I was like Batman. I had a go-to plan for everything, any scenario. When it came to watching porn, I had it all set up. I would never get caught, and I've never gotten caught up to this day. So
That is impressive.
Because you didn't have AOL back then.
no, I had AOL, but I knew how slow my computer was, and I knew like the loading screen. I knew how all that worked. Like I knew how long it would take for me to see titties, but I would also know when to do that. So I kind of had I had to play it out with a plan. I couldn't go by my dick. I had to go with my dick and my brain, have them work together, and then eventually I get my fill once
I think-
the plan went out.
I think most people just purely go with their dick and they don't even think about going with their brain. So the fact that you even took the time to develop, whatever system you had, shows that you are much more skilled than most other underage children who look at pornography on the internet.
Now, this is a PSA.
Yes.
We do not endorse children watching porn. We understand it happens.
No.
And so we don't
Legally,
endorse it.
we have to say that we cannot endorse it.
Mm-hmm.
Although, does anybody wait until they're of legal age to watch pornography?
No.
Probably.
But you shouldn't.
Yes. Please be of
Right.
age when you attempt, but we cannot control. We are not gods. We are not. Hell, we're not even Satan. So do as you must, but under the eyes of God. I guess I don't know. I'm never religious.
What? No, just don't fucking break the law.
Okay, yeah. Let's not break the law.
Yeah.
Then again, who
And
are you
in
in
terms
trouble?
of you people in the UK,
Oh yeah.
get your licenses, boys and girls.
Oh yeah. Make sure you get your license, and then you can watch porn. Oh God. I don't know. I don't know if you heard anything about that, TJ.
I did not. You need like a license. Wait, this is like a license to watch porn?
Yes,
Is that what you said?
Jarron, if you would explain, please, Jarron.
Yep.
Oh no, Jarron, if you could
So,
explain, yeah.
maybe like maybe about 2 months ago, the UK rolled out a bill that essentially made it so that you have to have a license, I think, tied to your social security number to watch porn.
Huh. That's fucked up. Like, how do they even like make that work?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm wondering. But I mean, it's what happens.
That's-
That an article. What is it now? 14.
I don't know. I think they changed It changed to Article 7 because it was from Article 13, Article 7. But that's a whole copyright thing and all that good stuff for the internet that the EU is trying to shove their fist up people's dick holes at this moment. So
No, you can't start with the fist. You got to start with the pinky and then go to the thumb and then the tongue.
we wish it was that easy for the people in the EU, but we're not very political at the moment. No, nor do we try to be.
Only when it comes to anime and hentai.
Yes, because that's also really important. I mean, Jared, how did you want to talk about the little bit of a politics again on all that just a little bit?
Oh yeah, since we do have a new fresh insight to it. We as we said, we do get a little political when it comes to our hentai and stuff. So one of our first few episodes, when I technically started the hashtag hentai for all tag, we were discussing whether or not lolly porn should be banned.
Or the tag itself as well.
The tag itself, should it be illegal?
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a difficult conversation because, like, on one hand, it for all intents and purposes, you are essentially watching a child being fucked, but at the same time,
Yeah, to put it bluntly, yeah.
to put it bluntly, yes, but at the same time, a drawing can't have an age.
Right. Well, that's true. But and I go back and forth on this too because it's like you're right and it's not like it's not a real child, but then I think about it and realistically and I mean, granted, I admittedly don't know anybody who's actually into that sort of stuff, but it's like and I think about it and it's like
you're talking to one. He's being silent over there.
Excuse me, and I know this is a running joke, Duran, but we shouldn't be alluding to false claims here with a guest on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of an inside joke that Duran and I run through for some godforsaken reason.
Mm-hmm. But what was I saying? Yeah, and I think about it. It's like, are the people like? Is anybody watching like lowly hentai that isn't interested in kids? I don't know.
Well,
like I mean, you think that probably not everybody is, but at the same time, it's like, if you're not, like, what are you getting out of it? At least for me, who sees this and it's like, oh, this is fucking horrifying.
Right. But at the same time, you have to think about it this way. There's certain things in hentai that done there is fine, but done in real life, it's weird. So like,
Hmm.
what's a good but bad example? Um,
In hentai, let me
Uh,
all right.
think.
One of my favorite tags is tentacle porn. I love it to death.
Yeah,
Cthulhu Master Race. Um, and in hentai, it's great. The bondage, the everything, pretty much everything that goes with it.
hmm
But when it's translated to real life, because I've seen animatronic tentacles go on people, and it's just fucking weird. It doesn't.
Wait, is
It's
that a
not
thing?
right. Yeah,
That's an actual thing?
yeah,
yeah. There is live action. I've seen the live action La Blue Girl movie. It's fucking terrifying.
yeah.
Oh
It's
God.
so fucking weird.
Yeah,
But like that's the thing. It's okay in hentai because it's drawn to look appealing. Real life is ugly and shitty. You're not gonna have the same feelings that you would for something in real life than you would in hentai. So that's why I argue that while people might be into lolly porn, they might not. They probably are likely not into actual kids because kids suck. They're literal walking diseases.
right.
But in hentai, they're whatever they think about. You know.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a correlation between, um, people liking kids in real life because it's not true. You can go to a fantasy setting for something that's uh, weird in real life. You can find it fun there, but not in real life.
Yeah,
It's the same argument for like why are the whole thing with video games making people violent. Do violent video games make people violent? No.
yeah,
In the same way that lolly porn's not
yeah.
turning people into pedophiles.
I guess yeah. I guess my thing is like it's not that like it turns people into pedophiles per se. It's more like, are there people are is anyone is like are is anyone who isn't a pedophile, like, why, like, it's like the only people who are watching this are like pedophiles already, is sort of what I was getting at. Like,
Right, I got
I don't think that watching loli porn like will make people interested in kids, but
Hmm.
just sort of like the only audience that it would be appealing to are people who are already into kids already, you know.
Right, I get you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, because like I said, I don't know anybody who is into that.
Right. Wait, Jomel, do we know anybody that is? I thought we.
Like legitly?
Yeah.
Um I feel like I would have. I feel like I would have called them out by it if, at this point. If I if I actually had any friends that were into
Fair. Yeah. No, you're right. I would have relentlessly made fun of them. Um.
because I mean the whole thing. But the whole thing about this too, kind of the bigger picture in my sense about it is that, you know, if we allow something like one tag to be taken away due to like a moral reason, that means it's not they're not gonna just stop at low. They're gonna end up stopping at some. They're gonna keep going, and it'll end up just being like restrictive and all vanilla and whatnot. Which I'm actually a fan of vanilla. That's one of my favorite tags. But I wouldn't want my hentai just to be, you know, um, weirdly put friend normal, I guess you'd say. I wouldn't want the limitation of the artist's imaginations and creativity go to waste just because of drawing is per se, to be honest with you.
Right.
So I mean that's sort of my take on the whole thing, because it's more so just a giant picture. It's kind of like if we censor one, then they're gonna eventually censor all of them.
Right.
In that aspect of things.
Hmm.
But I mean, but in spite of that, I mean, there hasn't been much update in terms of how the UN has been dealing with it, because the UN has been kind of going. They actually went out, and that was some time ago though. They went out and made the whole doctrine and all that, and was actually gave people an open opportunity to like comment on it via French, Spanish, and English on the official UN site, and that's one of the things you can like I guess comment about as well.
Really, that's interesting. I wonder how many. See, that raises the question, like how. so Japan, the vast majority of this originates from Japan. What, like, how do you even quantify this? Like, what is the mindset here? I've only known, I guess not personally known, but has looked into one actual like pornographic artist, and that was if you're familiar with TJ, Shadman.
I know the name. I'm not familiar with the work.
All right, so Shadman kind of has a smorgasbord of stuff. He does kids, he does animals, he does gay, lesbian, literally he pretty much just the whole rainbow.
Everything, yeah.
Pretty much does everything. And you can talk, if you can get in contact with him, he'll tell you himself. He'll he'll do his blogs and stuff or whatever. And then he's straight up is like, I don't really get off to my own cartoons. It's the fact that I can draw it.
Right.
So it's coming from there. It's like it's not necessarily about the moral aspect behind it. It's just, I guess, appreciating the art, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, like I can draw this, so I will draw it, sort of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I can't really say that. That's essentially why Jomel and I disagree with the whole, ban lollies and stuff, because it's, it's, as much as I'm gonna shit on anyone that says that they like it, it's not actually hurting anybody. It's not. It's
right.
You're, again, like I said, it's a drawing. It doesn't have any feelings. It doesn't have anything.
I mean, to comment on that too, this wasn't like an extended kind of like conversation from back in 2016, if I remember correctly, where there was a UN discussion about the same kind of topic where depict imagery and depictions of children being used in like pornographic material and stuff like drawings or hentai or animation, stuff like that. And there was actually a representative from Japan that actually commented on that notion, and she said that it should be more pressing, something along the lines of I'm kind of butchering this, by the way. This is all butchering because I remember reading about it some years ago. But essentially, she was saying that there are more pressing issues with actual people dealing with sexual abuse and all of that. That needs to be taken care of rather than trying to limit the creative freedom of artists with work that have the work that it's not work that deals with people that don't exist, pretty much.
Yeah, so basically it's like there are like actual children being abused. Let's focus on that instead of focusing on these cartoons.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, which I can get behind, absolutely, because it's right. There's like however many millions and millions of children that are like going through this shit. Like
right.
It's like it's like so what if someone's making a comic?
Right.
Priorities, man.
Exactly.
So, I guess to play devil's advocate, I don't know if it's really devil's advocate, but looking at it from the other side, it's the argument that it's either turning people into pedophiles or it's like normalizing it. So
yeah,
that's that argument, which I mean,
I would, again, I wouldn't think that it would be like turning anybody into pedophiles. I think that there's a lot more that goes into pedophilia than just like reading a comic book but normalizing it is, I mean, that's a bit more. I could see like someone making that argument, like if there is a lot of stuff coming out of say Japan, I've seen there's a lot of lowly content that comes out of Japan in a weird way. Like after enough of it, it's like you get sort of desensitized to it. But does it have any effect? Does it have any effect of normalizing it? I can't say for sure. And it's interesting. I wish someone would like do a study on it or something.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one thing if you're desensitized to it, but it doesn't mean that you don't think it's wrong.
Right.
Like it can still be recognized as a wrong thing to be done in real life. I feel like people are much more competent when it comes to that kind of thinking, you know, because obviously it's wrong, but it doesn't, just because you're desensitized to it doesn't mean that you don't understand that it's obviously not something you should be doing in real life.
Right, and then it's and then I kind of thought of this parable. It'd be like saying, going back to the violent video games thing, it'd be like saying someone that played every single Modern Warfare, every single, war game in existence, and then throwing them out into an actual battlefield. It's not the same.
Right.
There are so many more elements than is just picking up a controller or opening a web page in that sense than it is to actually doing it. There's things in your brain that have to like switch and say, this is okay.
No, that's true. And like with the violent video games thing, like I think the first time I played a Mortal Kombat game, I think I was like really, really young. I might have been 4 years old. So, some people, according to some people, I should be the most like violent motherfucker on the face of the planet, and I'm not.
Right.
There's clearly a lot of stuff that goes into that. But it's very, very much more complicated.
Much more. But that's why Jarron and I are kind of advocating for the hashtag hentai for all. It hasn't really gained much traction on Twitter, but we're doing our best.
Yeah.
Hashtag hentai, number 4 all, because everyone deserves a hentai regardless if they're, if they got really shitty taste or not, according to Jarron.
If you're a furry, you have the worst taste.
Jarron has an affinity toward, has a thing against furries apparently.
Oh, okay. I know some people who are furries, so I can't get behind that. But I will say, it was like the bad hentai needs to continue. Like I wouldn't want anybody to stop making the bad hentai, because if that were the case, I would have nothing to make fun of at my panels.
Right.
Yes,
that is true.
Exactly. And kind of moving towards on here. I mean, I'm sure you watch hentai, TJ, right? Generally.
I do. Yeah. Well, I mean, to run a panel like that, I kind of have to.
Yeah.
Well, okay, for business and for pleasure, right? I'm guessing.
For business. Well, honestly, like most hentai, and I've made this joke, I think, at the panel, like most hentai is just fucking like really not great because and like I don't know how much hentai you guys have watched, but like because of the panels that I do, I've watched more than I care to admit. And most hentai, and I would extend this into live action Japanese pornography as well, is there's so much rape that happens. Like
that's a very popular subject. I don't genre. I don't know why.
I don't really know either, but it's to the point where it's like if there is consensual sex in hentai, it's almost like holy shit. Like this is like noteworthy. So I mean, from that perspective, and like that like rape does absolutely nothing for me, and it's like I just watch this and I'm like, this is fucking horrifying. So like most hentai that I come across, like just because of that, it's like, okay, I can't get behind this. I know there was a question there somewhere. I don't remember what it was though.
Well, I want to. You might think of it in a little bit, but I want to piggyback off of that. It's so, like I said before, I'm into tentacle porn. Unfortunately, like 90%, no, not even 90% of it, like 99% of it is rape.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I do not advocate it, obviously for it in real life at all by any degree. Send all rapists to a fucking fire pit. Gas them. Let's restart Auschwitz, but only for rapists. But like because it's almost like a hazard of the I guess it's a bad word, hazard of the job. You kind of have to just like, yep, there it is. But tentacle porn, this is really all I'm going to be able to find. So you kind of have to roll with it. But again, only
yeah, I mean, I guess some people can do that. Whereas I'm like, I watch it and I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know. I mean, it's like different people have different tastes, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the boring fuck that likes his vanilla. Very sweet, consensual and like generally in love scenarios.
Hentai is the wrong place for you then, because most, like, again, 99% of hentai is the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
Oh, usually, yeah. I try my damnness to find me some wholesome vanilla, which I do. I end up finding some wholesome vanilla stuff, which is surprising given the amount of content provided within that community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that there was only one hentai which I was actually thoroughly invested in, where I had to I stopped mid jerk just to finish the story because I was just so enveloped with it.
Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I remember his name because I'll tell you the whole story. Pretty much, the hentai is called Otome Dori.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Wait,
and
Wait,
what is it?
Or Toy Door, no, different one.
Yeah, Otome Dori.
Oh,
And-
Ultimate Girl. Yeah, I have not seen that one.
Now, it's your kind of classic like NTR styled, setting where you got like main character Kun. He's like a wimpy asswipe that can't really defend his the girl that he likes, and she gets involved in like weird gangbanging situations with some faceless old men. But
I'm also gonna say real quick, if you like NTR, you're worse than the furries.
Wait, what is NTR? I should know this, but
Oh, boy.
well, NTR and Netorare, it's essentially the tag surrounding a Netorare is essentially how would you describe it, Jarron? It's more of
the fucking worst thing. It's somehow you get off to watching someone get cheated on,
it's like
or
cuckolding
like
pretty much.
yeah,
It's pretty much
Oh,
like
it's cuckolding?
cuckolding to a degree.
but like
okay.
always negative.
Yeah, like it's cuckolding, but you focus for some reason a lot of those hentais that revolve around Netorare or NTR revolves around the main character and his reaction towards being cuckolded. And generally, it's a pretty bad feeling because you kind of see him reacting to all of that, and then usually, and in some cases like this one, in Otome Dori, he actually gets DVDs of like his childhood friend essentially getting fucked by these faceless old men. And he doesn't do anything about it. He jerks off to it, and then he just pretends that it never even happened. And see, the reason why I found this was like the only hentai where I was captivated by the story because for one thing, it was only one episode when I found it the first time, and it was a 2-episode series. I had to wait a year for the second episode to be animated. It was fucking terrible.
That's how that goes.
But essentially, there was this whole thing where like, his childhood friend was essentially kind of recruited by some old man, and then it's just kind of him, the main character, seeing what's being done to her via these DVDs, and he's just doing nothing but jerking off and pretending like it's not even happening. I guess this was my first time my first time encountering NTR, so I was kind of fascinated by the idea and the mentality of it. But then the second episode, which was a fucking doozy, because in the second episode, it turns out the entire thing was actually organized by his little sister, which is in love with him, but she knows that her.
What? Wait, hold on. You didn't tell me the.
Wait,
what? Wait, what?
Okay, well, it turns out the entire thing with his childhood friend being fucked by these old men, it was actually organized by the main character's little sister, because she used to be the one that was getting fucked by these old men, but she struck a deal with the old men, saying, "Hey, I got some fresh meat for you. Let me give you that to her if I can get out, and I can also have my Oni-chan instead."
Oh my god.
And there was, and
I should have
then
known that the little sister would be involved because it's fucking Japan and that's what they do.
Yeah.
incest for the win. And then once the main character confines us out, then he's out in a daze. She's fucking him while he's out in a daze. We see childhood friend Chan just getting fucked in a daze and with the old man, and then all of a sudden we see him wake up.
Okay.
It turns out it was all a dream. He wakes
really?
up.
It was all a dream.
He wakes up with his family. It turns out he married his childhood friend, which is the girl we know. He has a kid with her, a little daughter, and he woke up. He was relieved that it was all it was just a bad nightmare he kind of woke up from. But as his wife and their kid left for the day to go shopping and shit like that, he finds a DVD snuck in between the bookshelves. He pops it open, and it turns out this DVD contains a video of his current wife being fucked by the same old men in their house, in their bedroom. while she was pregnant with their current child. And then during that DVD, they were talking about like, oh, where's your husband at? He's probably out working late tonight. I bet this kid's not even his. I bet this kid is one of ours. And the horror on his fucking face was just like immense. And the thing is, though, he decides to ignore the whole thing and just tries to pretend it's a giant bad dream waiting for him to wake up, and it ends off like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. Holy shit. How do people get off to that? I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't either.
It is called Ultimate Glory, by the way, for references. Before we get on the discussion here, I looked into it. I looked into the author and all that stuff, and there's it's based off of the doujinshi that he drew up and wrote out, and it's a lot more horrifying in the doujinshi form. But his reasoning behind writing and formatting the story was to depict a form of like what is it? How to describe it as? Pretty much, it's a form of like betrayal to the extreme. Like he wanted to depict like an immense emotion of betrayal through that work, and have that be have that consume you the reader as well as the main character throughout the entire betrayal process. While trying to like still conceive that it may just be a bad dream. It's just they're just waiting for you to wake up, even though all this bad stuff is happening. It's just he focused on that emotion, just like feel like you were betrayed and feel like you're pretty much at the worst moment in your life. And for some reason, that was his inspiration for that whole theme of the series.
Mm-hmm. See, my thought is always, it's like if this is, pornography. Pornography, the ultimate goal in pornography is to get you, sexually aroused and jerk off, whatever. Mm. And it's like, if that, with that sort of, if that sort of negative emotion is supposed to be like front and center in the entire work, like I wouldn't be able to get aroused by that. I would just feel like despair,
Exactly.
See, I just felt drop. There was a lot of for me. I had to finish that series because I was interested in just the story progressing. And Jesus Christ, I did not expect that kind of ending, to be honest with you. I was more captivated by the result of everything, and I kind of understood what the author was kind of going for. It's like, shit, you just kind of feel bad for this guy. He doesn't do anything. He exactly just does nothing and pretends it's all a bad dream.
Right.
Now, Jarron, I know you had some words about this.
Oh, God, it doesn't make any fucking sense. All right. So if you're putting it out as an art form, sure, I get it. You're trying to, like you said, capture the ultimate despair, betrayal, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Yeah, sure. But, like, it's the people that are like, yeah, NTR is the best, it's the best tag, and they're not memeing. I don't understand you. How are you this big of a piece of shit?
I mean, people have their own taste, Jarron. Isn't that what we were just talking about?
No, you're not allowed. No, fuck you. You're not allowed to like NTR.
Oh god.
Fucking, it doesn't make any sense. How can you enjoy the process of destroying another human being like that? Like not only are you fucking manipulating this one person, you're fucking
Yeah.
Jarron gets a little emotionally like riled up when it comes to NTR.
I don't fucking like it.
I mean, I don't get it either, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're hearing about this for the first time, like, I don't understand, but I would love to, like, find someone who, like, this is their thing, and just, like, have them explain, like, what does this do to you, like, why? Just
like,
why?
I've seen things where it's like, oh, yeah, I want to watch my girlfriend get fucked by something. Sure, you're doing it consensually. You're like,
right.
Right,
there's consent there,
right?
And that makes it entirely different than whatever the fuck I just looked into.
Right, exactly. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a friend that kind of enjoys the idea of it, just because it's more so just understanding how the mind works. Because I know my one friend, he's been on the podcast before, Matthias. He likes the idea that someone can be broken to such a degree mentally and can submit to whatever the action is. It's more so like a giant mental game, and that's what I guess that's the appeal for this sort of tag is for some people, which is seeing that kind of power kind of like erupt into somebody, both sexually as well as a mental game.
it's the sexual component that fucks me over because it's like because it's like because there's always this element of like, oh, someone is watching this to get off, and that's terrifying for me. That being what it is, you know?
Right. It's just like, I get the mind break thing, because that's what the tag is, mind break. I get it to a certain degree when it's like, again, tentacle porn. I watch it a lot. That is the mind break is also a common tag, because most girls don't want to get ravaged by a fucking swarm of tentacles, but they eventually, fall into the lust of it. And I'm like, all right, sure, I get it. I get that part of it, but like, and you argue, your sexual prowess effectively overwhelms a woman to the point where she like craves it like it's fucking water.
Right.
I get that, but it's the added aspect of like, you're ripping this fucking married woman away from this other person. Like, come on now.
Or if it's a dirty old man getting involved in the young couple's relationship.
Why is ugly bastard even a tag? Like, come on.
I mean, some people are ugly bastards, Jarron. They have to relate somehow.
People are ugly bastards. You don't fantasize about being an ugly bastard. No one does. Like, oh, I look like fucking, what is it? Oolong from goddamn Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I'm fucking hot shit right now. No, fuck you.
Now I have like oolong porn in my head now. Thanks a lot.
You guys know what to look up now after today's podcast.
I don't have to. The image is just imprinted in my brain.
Well, there you go. Shit. I mean, see, Jarron, there are probably people out there who probably do look like oolong, or like who are ugly bastards. They want to fit in. They want to fit into.
No.
They want to place themselves into those people's shoes and really see the sexual prowess of themselves within a young anime Japanese woman.
But like,
or man, I don't know.
Visualize yourself as the literal, absolute, most disgusting figure, like human being. Like, why? Like, I understand not having self-esteem, but Jesus Christ.
I mean, remember, some people may actually like the ugly bastard aesthetic. I don't know.
No.
I'm sure there's people out there who are like a little bit overweight, balding Japanese men that like to sweat like pigs.
Look, I remember I was watching, have you ever watched Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt?
Oh, yeah.
So it was getting, close to the end of the show when they started either they were running out of ideas or they just didn't know what to fucking do, so they just started putting shit out. We all knew that Stocking was a masochist. We got that, because that was established earlier in the show, which is fine. But then she meets this one. What were they called? Were they demons or were they? Whatever they were.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll say that they were demons or ghosts or whatever. This one ghost that was like the piece, like was essentially a ghostly version of an ugly bastard. He fucking farted every damn time he moved. He was gross. He was like oozing all the time. He like would just be the most foul mouthed, evil, mean ass motherfucker. And as soon like Panty and Stocking were like, oh yeah, we're they're scouting out all the guys that were around. Panty's like, oh yeah, that guy's hot. And Stocking's like, yawn next. And it's like, oh, that guy. And then they see the demon. Panty's like, oh no, there's a ghost over there. Stocking's like, oh my fucking, I'm the fucking open Niagara Falls. I gotta fuck. I'm like, what? What?
See, it works for that show because that show like doesn't it never from the beginning it just was just like we're just gonna go as fucking far out there as possible and just be as crazy as so like when that happened like it just didn't even faze me at that point.
That fucking broke my heart. I love Stocking.
Yeah.
Is it because she likes the ugly bastard aesthetic?
Yes.
Is that why?
That fucking broke my heart. Like, no, please.
Come on, Jarron. Even you could see. I mean, that's kind of maybe that's more of a encouragement thing. See,
what?
Even an ugly bastard can be loved.
Right.
Yeah, everyone deserves love, right, Jarron? From furries to ugly bastards to.
No. Look. If you're
NTR
ugly,
enthusiasts.
if you are ugly, it's fine. I'm not saying that it's bad to be ugly because people are ugly. That's just a fucking. There's it's everyone's beautiful to someone, sure, yeah, but it's not being ugly that's the problem. ugly bastards tend to be ugly people on the inside too. At least in hentai, not in real life, because
Right.
again, so, we're separating that. This is what we're separating.
Mm-hmm.
Typically in hentai, when there's an ugly bastard tag, there's like blackmail, there's some kind of manipulation, some kind of bullshit going on.
Something like big ass dick.
Right. Something going on that forces the girl to do so, or you force her to do, whatever happens. It's rarely, oh, ugly bastard kun is so nice to me, I'm gonna fucking eat his dick. Like, that's rare. That's super rare.
Yes, I do know one. I actually do know one doujin series that's actually that.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I'm gonna go look it up right now while you talk.
Fucking, I don't. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, most people in hentai, at least what I've seen, like every character, like most of the characters are. I take that back. Like most of the male characters tend to be shitbags, regardless of how attractive they are. Like, because again, you bring it back to the whole rape thing. Most male characters in hentai end up being rapists. So, regardless of how they look, they're fucking ugly on the inside.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's again, it's just going back to that, like the fact that literally I can probably name the hentai that I've seen featuring consensual sex on one hand. That's not even an exaggeration.
I
Not
wouldn't
even
doubt you
an
at all.
exaggeration. Oh, you're back.
I would not doubt you at all.
Yeah, it's and like I don't know. it's confusing. I don't get it.
It's a it's a difficult thing. Like but I don't. I guess the main question is, why is there so much? Why is this so fetishized?
Why is rape so fetishized?
Well, at least in hentai, like, why is it so much more prevalent than everything else?
It's not just in hentai though. It's in like Japanese porn as a whole. Like if you watch live action Japanese porn, which I don't suggest, because it's horrible. Like it's the exact same. So there's something about the Japanese specifically that they go for this, and I don't understand. Like culturally, I don't have the cultural awareness to understand what makes hentai or what makes Japan go so wild for rape. It's weird, and like there must be a reason, because it's so prevalent. There must be a reason for it, but I'm not smart enough to know what that reason is. I would love to know.
I guess and the same thing could be said with like all the incest as well.
Yeah, that too. What the fuck is up with that?
The incest, and the incest, that carries over. Not even just in hentai, there's a lot of regular anime where incest is a theme, and I don't fucking get that at all either.
Speaking of, there's I'm sure we mentioned it before, but just to let you know, in case you didn't know, have you watched Orimo, or the English title is I Can't Believe My Sister's This Cute?
Yeah, I think this must have been like almost a decade ago, but I have seen.
So the author behind that had a restraining order placed upon him by his sister.
Oh shit.
I think that's the funniest shit at the same time the saddest.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but like, God. Yeah, I don't even know why I even watch that show, just because like I don't typically like. I mean, most of what I watch, like anime wise, like I typically like I don't watch a lot of like shows like that where there's like a sister thing. I don't watch a lot of like the moe shows, the harem shows. Like I tend to avoid those as a rule because they're just aren't my thing.
Fair.
I watched that one though, and like that doesn't surprise me to hear that.
Though, to be fair, with Orimo, it started out pretty good. It started, like, the whole every single episode was good until they tacked on the last 3.
Well, basically the last 3 was the ending of the actual novel. That's the thing.
Yeah, they can suck my dick, ending of the last fucking novel.
Yeah. That's what the author decided to go with.
The author can eat a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it was his sisters, you know.
Right. Fucking. I don't know. I guess that kind of harkens back to the what we were talking about initially with the whole does, the stuff you watch make you into that. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many the well, like I said, there will have to be a study done to see like what is the correlation here. There's been plenty of
Yeah.
tests done to say, violent video games don't make people violent.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how easy it would
Yeah.
be to do a test like how many people that watch hentai or specifically lolly porn are actually into children. Because
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it's a very high number. If
I wouldn't think so, but at the same time, it's like it's a weird reflection on Japanese society that these two, like the lowly stuff and the incest stuff and the rape. Let's throw the rape in there too.
Yeah.
Like those things are so prevalent
Mm-hmm.
in their pornography as a whole that it's like and I mean it's been there from the beginning, like even when the hentai industry first started back in
Right.
the 80s or whatever.
Right.
Like the very first hentai ever made, the very first hentai anime ever made, not doujinshi. I don't know much about the history of doujinshi, but the very first hentai anime ever made was loli porn. It's literally called Lolita anime, you know? So this isn't, yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Like just
Oh my God.
exactly what the title says. Like, so this isn't new, and so it's like all these things, all these sort of kinks were there before anybody was even making hentai. So hentai for me, I always see hentai as a reflection of attitudes and ideas that are already in society. And so that being the case, what is it about Japanese society that causes these attitudes in the first place? And that's
Right.
what I don't get.
Well, I mean, there's some we talked about this on the podcast before when we got news that this Japanese idol was attacked. What was her name? What was the group she was with?
Well, it's happened. I mean, shit like that has happened. Like, like a decent, unfortunately, keeps happening.
It has to do. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the whole, their inherent oppression of women in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, their society is not, as far as like gender roles and stuff. It's fucked up. Not saying that the U.S. is perfect in that regard either, but
Right.
Japan, there's a lot of cultural baggage that goes back like I don't even know how
Centuries.
long. Centuries, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a fucking strange thing to really even try to contemplate there, because it's like I don't want to generalize. You never want to generalize these kind of things.
Right.
But it seems like when you look at any other porn, like American, it's like, oh, when you think of American porn, what do you think of? The classic, the pizza man comes over. Hey, I don't have any money to pay for that pizza. Maybe you can have a piece of my ass, that kind of thing. Where it's like, it's just kind of.
Well, that's what I was like. When you think of like when you go on like an American, like if you go on like Pornhub or something, like there seems to be a lot more, like whatever you're into, you can find something for you. Whereas like if you go into like hentai or just Japanese pornography in general, it's like, okay, you can have rape, you can have incest, and if you don't like that, you gotta log. Bye. Like.
Well, that's not to say that there's not a lot of other genres, but
right.
But I get what you're saying. It's still a very heavy theme.
Right, but there's always like, especially with the rape, it finds its way into like even other genres. Like, it'll be like, I don't know, like it'll be like some other genre, but also there's rape,
Right.
And it's like that's sort of like these things that are unavoidable, whereas like with say like American pornography, it's just like if you don't want to watch rape porn, it's very easy to filter that out,
Right.
Whereas in Japan, it's not. It isn't, and that's we is weird too.
Mm-hmm.
So then to interject this,
Yeah.
so I've been scouring the internet for hentai and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
good.
the one I found actually, the one I referred to you, Jarron.
Mhm.
He's not an ugly bastard, but he is kind of like a bigger dude, I guess. But he's Mister.
Now,
Yeah,
there is a very clear difference between, oh, he's just fat, and then there's an ugly bastard.
because this. This is also an interesting read as well. It's called Enko Jisan, or Mister Enko. He's just a dude that
Hmm.
likes. He's a dude. He's a dude that just prostitutes himself actually to a bunch of girls, and turns out he's some sort of uh, superhuman alien superhero
What?
in the end.
What?
Yeah, he gets his
What?
strength from like, he gets his strength from like fucking girls, and then he's like this
Hmm.
super like he's a super Sentai hero essentially.
What the fuck?
Like a
What?
like a Power Ranger.
Yeah, he's got like he ends up kicking like he ends up in the last chapter like kicking the asses of like these robbers, and they try shooting him, and his suit just kind of gets exposed, and he just you see him in his fucking suit, and he like roundhouse punches like the guy.
What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's all right. This is a manga or a doujinshi or what is
Yes,
it?
Yeah, it's
this is
a
a
doujinshi.
doujinshi. It's called
Okay.
yeah, Mr. Enko, and it's the whole series is complete too. So it's by the artist Shiwasu no Okina, which is one of my favorite hentai doujinshi artists.
Well, see, here's the thing
So-
though. That typically falls into the DILF category.
What's DILF?
What's MILF?
Oh, okay. I didn't know it applied the same way.
Yeah, it's just the opposite of it. Now, I don't know. He might not be a father, but it's still like typically older person that I want to fuck.
Yeah.
That's typically what it's turned into.
Right.
So I honestly feel like it's more so that category than it is ugly bastard. Because
As long as it was DILF, and then
it's actually in fact specifically on ehentai.org, which we talked about before.
Mhm.
Its tag is DILF or BBM, Big Beautiful Man.
Oh.
But this whole thing with going back to the whole thing with ugly bastard is like the reason why it is what it is because there's ugly. Typically it's the traditional what people traditionally thought of as ugly. Being
grotesque.
grotesque, and then there's bastard. That's not there for no reason. You're literally an asshole. Like you're just the worst.
Mm.
Now, if you again, it has to be a little bit more than just you're fat. Because just looking at one of these panels, yeah, he's a chubster, but he's he's kind of adorable.
He is. I don't. Yeah.
Hmm.
Was there any more you want to add on to that?
Wait, where does he start kicking ass? All I see is he just had sex with one girl and that was
Oh,
it.
it's like that's like chapter 10 or something. Like
Oh,
literally like
it's a long one.
yeah, it's a long one. It's a long series. It's completed. It's like that last few panels where some place gets robbed, and then you kind of see him start kicking ass at the end.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but before we kind of like end things off here, I guess we talked about this last week, Jarron, right?
Mhm.
But this hentai podcast is also a way for us to celebrate the rebirth of was it Hentai Haven as well?
Mhm.
So I don't know if you know anything about that, TJ, about Hentai Haven.
I
being one of
don't.
So hentaihaven.org, right, as of right now, it
Yeah.
was one of the most popular free streaming sites when it came to hentai, and also one of the most diverse when it comes to like tags and all that stuff when it comes to hentai in general.
Mhm.
And as a recently some time ago, maybe a couple months ago, they announced that they were shutting down because they weren't able to afford the domain anymore, and they couldn't afford to keep the site open anymore. And they kind of did a whole goodbye and kind of like a big thank you to all the fans that were supporting them all these years. Because I remember Hentai Haven's been around since I was probably in high school, and that was like years ago.
Oh,
So
okay.
they've been around for a long time, and they were just known for just being the top free streaming site for hentai in general, for anything you wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
And when they
Well,
announced,
there was a rumor that one of the reasons why they shut down was because the owner of the site that was supposed to be putting money into it used money instead to buy a fursuit.
yeah,
Oh, really?
I'm not completely sure on those rumors. All I know is that they couldn't afford the site. They couldn't afford to keep the site open anymore. But as of recently, sometime maybe a month ago, Faku.com or Faku.net, Faku essentially announced that they were gonna partner up with Hentai Haven and keep the site open as one of their big partners in that endeavor. So, I mean, I just wanted to like talk about that. I mean, I know Jarron and I extensively talked about antihaven.org. What what was it that we talked about, Jarron? To be specific.
Well, we were specifically talking about like a little bit of the history of Hentai Haven. Like you said, it's been around for a very long time, and it was one of the most notable sites that dropped the lolly tag.
Yeah. And that's what, yeah, we did have that kind of debate when we did have that kind of conversation when the Yoon was talking about the whole depiction children thing, and then Hentai Haven was one of the sites that actually dropped the loli tag, and actually as of now they did drop the loli and the shota tag. Is that correct, Ron?
Yeah, before they just dropped the loli tag and the shota tag was still there, which confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna do one, do both.
Right. But now that both are gone, I guess not too many people are up in arms about it, but it still kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
I don't know. We're gonna get to your point to
I was gonna say fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Faku.
Something. Hentai Haven, like you said, was around a long time. Good place. It kind of spurred when it came back, it was partnered. There were rumors that it was because Faku.net. Was it? Yeah, it was Faku, right?
Yeah, Faku.
Yeah.
Faku helped revive it. Now, I do enjoy Faku. I respect them. I have a T-shirt. It's great. I respect them as a group. They have very little free material. Most of it you have to pay for, which is fine. You should pay for your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you support the community in any other way. And to add on to that, Jerome, before you continue, Faku is also one of the sites that also supported. Supported the era when Steam was getting rid of a lot of like their hentai games and H games of that sort. Yeah. Where Faku Gaming actually put out an announcement that they were going to support all of that, despite what was happening with Steam and all that back in the day. They said they were going to have their site open, have all those games available to players that want to play those games on their site. Mm-hmm. So they've been really supportive with the community and all that when it came to that genre of our community. So, go on, John.
But now that they're back, I kind of raised the question like, so is it because it seems like they're still sponsored by Faku, but they still have free shit. So like, how does this work? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because Faku is also known for to have a lot of you had to have a membership, kind of like a subscription service in a sense to get a lot of material from them, and I guess it's more John's more worried about like does the thing that identifies Hentai Haven, is it gonna change because is there gonna be like a subscription service, and do you think is that gonna end up being a thing a thing they're gonna be working towards? Well, I mean, it makes some sense if you want to keep the site running as well. I don't know if I'm asking the question correctly here. I guess we're just worried about like having the site being back to normal, and then maybe that'll change over time since Faku is also one of the the big sponsor that kind of brought it back to life in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, we formatted that question really weirdly. I'm sorry.
No, I think I get what you're saying. Like, is it going to change because of Faku's influence, or their maybe influence is the wrong word. I do get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't know. I'm on it right now. It looks like they have a lot of stuff. Honestly,
Hmm.
they have a lot of stuff. It always like amazes me just how much hentai there is. Like I feel like I've seen my fair share of hentai, and then I look at this list and like shit, I don't know like 85-90% of any of this.
Actually, fun fact: Jomel went through my anime list. You're
Hmm.
familiar with my anime list?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he went through my anime list and listed off every single hentai on there for one of
That's
our
that's fucking
videos.
impossible. There's too
No.
much to look.
He did it.
No, yeah,
5 hours. He did it.
yeah. To let you know, yeah, do a shameless plug for our associated YouTube channel. One of the videos to celebrate our 1,000 total downloads was I listed off. I named all 1,262 hentais listed on myanimelist.net.
There's got to be more than that, though.
I'm sure there are, but they just haven't logged them all.
Yeah, because I mean, as far as we know, myanimelist.net is the only place that we have that has a concrete log of everything in terms of anime and hentai.
Yeah, well, Anime News Network does too. I don't know how. I don't know if it's as complete as
Mm.
Mal, but
Hmm.
I use Mal a lot, and Anime News Network to find like really bad shit for
Hmm.
for
And
Mal.
I do have to say though, that took me like I recorded that in one go, and that took me 2 fucking hours to get through.
Oh, I bet.
And man, it's I mean all 2 hours is on YouTube right now too, so it's all there. I'm
Oh,
listing
good.
off literally every hentai that Mel has,
Hmm.
so feel free to check it out if you want to see me name an hentai for 2 hours. I wouldn't recommend it, but
I mean, it's an impressive achievement. Like,
yeah,
I didn't think it could be done, so it's good that you did it.
yeah. I thought I saw it as a challenge. It was a good way to thank the fans, and hopefully they add more to that list because it's like you said, yeah. There's probably a lot more hentai, and even like you said, you just like 80-90% of the hentai you haven't seen from Hentai Haven, and Hentai Haven is one of those sites where I mean it's been known to have everything essentially. So I actually
Well,
recommend
not
people.
everything.
Well, it has a lot more.
It has
I
a
mean, it's a
lot.
lot more concentrated. If I were to like recommend a site for people that want to find hentai, I would definitely recommend hentaihaven.org,
Hmm.
just because it kind of has a lot of. It's got a good smorgasbord of where you want to start out, and then you can expand from there.
Right.
When it comes
Hmm.
to like hentai, like animated hentai, go for hentaihaven.org, and especially since it's brought back now by Faku,
Hmm.
Yeah.
definitely have that be one of your main sites. And as far as
Hmm.
those Jinji sites, though, I've got two that I have in mind, which is Puritan.io, which has been revived countless many times. I don't know how many times that site's been fucking revived. It's been revived by like Russian servers, Polish servers.
Oh
uh,
God.
I don't even know what's on right now. All I know is .io. I'm not sure what domain that is.
Yeah. I don't need
Um,
IO.
and then there's nhentai.net. That's also
Hmm.
another one with a lot of good dojins. The only thing is about that one that has everything that has English, Chinese, and Japanese. So, but they're all mixed in. You can't really filter a lot of the English stuff unless you know what you're
Yeah.
looking for, and you have to filter that out by its language. That's the only
Yeah.
thing for that specific site.
Typically, if you're looking for a genre, just type in your genre and then hit popular because the most popular ones are going to be the English ones.
Hmm.
So,
But at the same time, the popular list I visit there regularly, so
mm,
I got a pretty good insight to it. But my other doujinshi place that also not only just has doujinshi, but it also has like Western game CG artists like collections and shit like that is hentai, uh, which like I
Hmm.
said just has a whole bunch of just different comics and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, did you want to add on to that list? I don't know if you have any other sites you would recommend to our lovely listeners.
That are of age.
That are of age, yes, that are of age, looking
Of
for
course.
such indulgences in their life.
Oh God. That's I mean, the one that I have, it's sort of, I guess it's sort of like Hentai Haven. It's just got this gigantic ass, archive of a lot of it. It's I think it's basically all anime because that's sort of where my knowledge of hentai begins and ends, is just purely on the anime side. But
Mhm.
it's called Mucho Hentai.
Mucho
Um,
hentai.
Mucho Hentai, yeah. And I don't know how I discovered it, but it's like when I use it a lot to download stuff for the panels, because I think you can actually like download stuff too.
Okay, so it's pretty reliable for downloads, and it's not gonna fucking give your computer gonorrhea syphilis.
My computer has not gotten gonorrhea syphilis at all. But they have they have basically like everything. They have, and if there's like English dubs of stuff, like they'll have stuff in English, they'll have stuff in Japanese, like, and if there's like a censored version and an uncensored version, they'll have all the different versions that they have that you can watch / download.
Wow.
So
I've been trying to find something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've been trying to find a site that actually allows those kind of downloads for people, for people out there that's like to download their stuff. So this is actually a big help for everyone out here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I'll just like go on there and I'll like pick something out. Like, I've never heard of this. Maybe it'll be really terrible, and I can use it for the panel, and then I'll watch it, and then, that's a lot of what I do is like that, and then eventually you get like the one thing that's like, wow, I really need to show this to people, and then that's what we show at the panel.
Is that where you found? Is that where you found the dickhole guy, or is that a different?
No,
completely?
the dickhole guy. I think I mentioned this before. Like, I first heard of the dickhole guy on another podcast called Distorted View. That's how I first heard of it, and then that podcast actually, like, this was like a long time ago, released like a little 1-minute clip of the dickhole guy, which I downloaded. But then eventually, like, I found the full length porno that was featured in, and I torrented that. So I wonder if you can just, I'm gonna search for the dickhole guy on Google, just see what comes up. Oh, there you go. Oh, here's something.
Wait, seriously? Oh god.
If you go on, if you search on Google, if you search the dickhole guy on Google, the second result is a video on X videos called Scott Taylor, the dickhole guy, and it is. Yep, that is what that is. Yep.
Bless that man. Bless his soul, Scott Taylor. There you go, Jarron. If you want to experience it like I did and hundreds other did on that fucking Sunday morning.
I don't think that's ever going to be an individual base search.
Just imagine if your mother walked in as you were.
No. Nope.
Well, I'm glad that it's there for people to see, because like, for the longest time I didn't even know that anybody had posted it. I just thought it was some weird thing that I torrented that I just would show to people at conventions. And now it's like,
maybe you started something, TJ. Maybe you started that fire, and then kind of somehow it just gained traction, and it's
maybe. When was this? Let's see when this was posted. Does it say?
2013. It says on the current link. Yeah.
2013.
Yeah. The XX Bunker.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm just glad that it's there.
Yeah. We need the image of Scott Taylor and his dick hole to be revitalized for generations to see.
Yep.
Well, it's
guarantee.
Right. The guarantee. If you come to a hentai hell panel, you will see Scott Taylor stick his finger in his dick hole. That's a guarantee. That's going to be shown, like, regardless. Maybe it won't be the first thing that we show, because that's a pretty fucking masochistic thing to do, but it will be shown, because people have to see this shit.
You're right.
And I hope, Jarron, you'll be there next year.
I do hope I'll be there, but I promise you I won't be super excited.
We'll sit in front row like what I did, and then we'll witness it all there and there.
Like, if you come next year, like, you'll know that it's coming. I think that the what kind of like freaks people, a lot of people out, is like, they're just not expecting it, and then I play it, and what the fuck even is this? And now it's like, you know what to expect. So I think if you saw it, I think you could get through it.
Yeah. Because I mean, when I went there, I was not expecting a stare down with Scott Taylor and his dick hole. But
that was your first time. This was your first anti-hell. Yeah. See, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I mean, I stayed through the whole 3 hours, for some ungodly reason.
That's also impressive
So-
because I don't think we ended until 3 a.m.
Jesus, fucking
'Cause
3 hours. God
'cause-
damn.
Because you guys were slaughtered for
Well-
like technically up until 4 a.m., didn't you?
Which was like they scheduled us for more time than we needed. We requested 2, they gave us 4, and we started a bit late. We started, I think, at like 12, closer to 12:30, and we didn't end until like 3.
I don't think we started. You guys started on 12:30 because there were still so many people walking in. That's why.
Yeah, we were waiting for the room to fill up, and to my complete and utter horror, the room didn't fill up until it was like, I mean, the room was almost entirely filled up when we started. I was just waiting for the procession of people to stop coming into the room, and I'm like, holy shit, there's still people coming into this room. Like,
See, that's why you filter them out with the dickhole guy.
that's true, yeah. Well, yeah, because it's like it's the first year that we were like a main event at the convention, so it's like, this is what we are. This is an accurate representation of what the panel is, and it is. So
it's not called hentai hell. It's not called hentai hell for nothing.
well, exactly. Like the hentai hell, there's truth in that name. Like, I don't fuck around with the porno that I show.
So I really do hope, Jarron, you're there next year, so you can experience it as well. You have a bit of a heads up of what's going to be going on, so I don't think it'll be that much of a disarray when it actually shows up right in front of you.
You say that now.
I mean, you may forget about it, but hopefully,
I doubt it.
hopefully it's enough of a heads up for you to like see. Because I'm gonna drag your ass to hit that hentai hell panel, front row, just for you to see Scott Taylor.
But the rave.
Well, the good thing about the rave is it goes till like 4.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's like I always go to hentai hell, and then when it's done, go straight from there to the rave, and then you don't have to wait in that fucking line.
That is
yeah,
true.
that's definitely true, and that's a good transition from bad porn to the rave. You know,
Yeah,
it's a way to like just drown out all that fucking porn.
Right.
Yeah.
Music.
that's
Yeah,
true.
well, how to drown out porn than watching a bunch of fucking bare naked girls dancing on stage. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you drown it out.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can safely I can probably say I did not jerk off that night after that panel. So
I would
Mission
imagine.
accomplished.
So-
Two goals. I didn't want people to sleep, and I didn't want people to masturbate.
yeah,
I think
That
I
was-
accomplished both of those.
definitely, you definitely did. But we have been going on for a little bit, guys.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. You're right.
We lose a lot of time when we're talking about hentai.
Very easily.
There's a lot to talk about.
There is definitely a lot of hentai to talk about, but people are out there having real jobs and having normal discussions with normal people, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But we have been going on for a little bit, about an hour and 36 minutes out here. Just a real quick. Again, I want to thank TG out here again from the Bad Anime Group. Make sure to follow him on his Facebook page as well as his Twitter page. Named the same at Bad Anime Group at Twitter, as well as Bad Anime Group on Facebook.
Yeah, I think
.com.
if you just search for Bad Anime Group on either one of those, you should find us. I think we're the only Bad Anime Group on either one of those websites.
Yeah, so definitely, and I'll also provide a link for all you guys down below who are listening and want to see these guys out. And if you're also going to Anime Midwest, they will also be there hosting a few panels as well. And
That's like, I'll post on the Facebook like as soon as I get more information. Anime Midwest usually doesn't post their panel schedule until like very, very close to the convention, so that's going to be like the weekend of the 4th of July, so it probably won't be for like another month until I know when the panels are. But as soon as I find out, I will get them posted so you can all plan your conventions accordingly.
And with that, also, I will also be out there. I'll also be coming out to Anime Midwest as well. I might be doing a live show out there, probably not. I probably won't. I'll probably just go enjoy the con because I did a lot of working over ASIN as well. So I may, just hang around with some of my friends as well there. Hopefully, if you're not too disgusted by my own face yet, I'll probably CC TJ as well on one of his panels.
Feel free to come and say hi and enjoy the ridiculousness.
Yes, of course, definitely. So make sure to check out those links down below, as well as check out everything else that we have to offer as well. As of right now, we are at 1,800 total downloads from this episode. This will be coming out on that Monday. So, my mind is running blank here because this is like late at night right now. As always, guys, my name is Jomel Socorro.
My name's Jarron Gaddis.
And I'm TJ DeSalvo.
And we are the Wannabe Boo Podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest game and anime news, reviews, and waifus for lifeu.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you next time.
See ya.